The film is in keeping with a certain set of interests that I've had, which is about waiting. The motivating factor was to look at the psychological space of these waiting rooms that have to do with planning a life elsewhere, where people are imagining a life elsewhere. Because I think the anxiety of waiting at a visa office is not shared by everyone across the world. It is very much a question of people in one part of the world waiting to go to another part of the world. And I was very aware that I would again be dealing with subject matter that is very familiar, that everyone has dealt with and spoken about. But what was it about? What was it about that interested me? And it did come down to the aesthetics of it. And it's a completely produced and a choreographed piece, in the sense it's not documentary, but it references spaces I know and I have been thinking about. So I kind of recreated them or transformed them a bit and worked on them elsewhere. The spaces, of course, that I reference, for me, are surreal in themselves. And I always find that in a lot of the ideas I work with, the things that I'm referencing are in themselves extremely absurd. So there's not that much transformation that is needed, except that I will choose to use that, isolate that. And somehow sound, I think, completely changes the psychological space. I was very aware of the difference between outdoors it being sunny and hearing crows. You hear a lot of crows in India and Pakistan, so you have the sound of birds. And indoors, it's always a sealed off space, it's air conditioned, and there's a lot of echo, and there's silence. So everything is just accentuated. And I think that, I wanted to create that. The outdoor space that you see in the video is references an outdoor parking lot in Islamabad where you have to wait and queue up before a bus will transport you to the diplomatic area. So it's a waiting before the waiting. And already in people's minds, they have started applying for their visa. So they're literally fixing their ties, because in their minds, they're kind of confronting the gates of the immigration office in another country. And it's an outdoor space that's converted completely into a space of control, where you paint a few lines and you put up a scanner, one of those scanner gates, and put up a few barriers, and everyone kind of just knows how to behave. So it is surreal. And because you make the extra effort to create it yourself, often because you can't shoot in the real spaces, there's a level of exaggeration that you can achieve, which you can't achieve in the real place. It is a certain kind of play acting and posturing and of the people involved, and about recasting. So it is this experimental. It is an experimental storytelling of some kind. So you keep on changing the narrative, and you keep on trying to tell the story again and again. And I think it's incredible how in Pakistan you can still you can still talk about the foundational ideas of the country. So you still haven't gotten out of that. It's 60 years on, you're still talking about that.